Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I am in a bad mood, and that is because we are going to be talking about The Devil in Me. I have so many bones to pick with this awful video game that I don't even know where to start. Of all the Dark Pictures games so far, this is the one I thought had the best premise. This is the one I was most excited for. A film crew trapped in a replica of a serial killer hotel, traps around every corner, being challenged in mental games, being pushed to the limit in order to survive. Please tell me how you mess that up. Well, you mess it up like this. First of all, I have played this game twice. I played it once in co-op and I played it once on my own. I will get into why later, but when I played this game for the first time, it was in co-op and I beat it with my friend in around 7 hours, I think. We were walking around exploring and stuff, we weren't beelining. And when I say we beat it in around 7 hours, I mean we technically beat it in 7 hours. But I will speak about that later on. But anyway, we got to the end in 7 hours. And the killer and the danger only appeared a threat about 3 hours in. We played this game over 2 sittings, and in the first sitting I don't think it was possible for us to have died. All of the action was in the second sitting. That is pathetic. How are you going to spend half of the game walking to the house, then walking around the house, building up weak character relationships that have little to no effect on the story? Literally, you spend like an hour walking around before even getting to the house. That is inexcusable on every metric. You can pretend it's because they needed to build up the characters, but that's a stupid point, because House of Ashes is the best game in this series, and they managed to do exactly that, whilst also introducing the monsters a lot earlier than this game did, and whilst also introducing better character relationships than this. There were higher stakes in that game. That game was just better from a character standpoint in every regard than this one. And that's another point. Whilst all this time is wasted introducing these characters, none of it is even remotely interesting. Ooh, some of the characters fancy each other. 2 of them used to date. It's boring, and aside from being explicitly told this information, the writing doesn't really imply any of it. There's very little subtext here. It's a perfect example of telling and not showing, something you learn not to do in the first lesson of any writing course you could ever attend. I cannot express to you how dreadful the characterization and general writing level is in this game. I've got no idea who was in charge of writing this story, but this was a terrible effort for whatever reason. Not to be a hater or anything, but I kind of am. And I'm just talking about the first 2 or 3 hours here. The boring build-up. Games can have slow starts. In the modern gaming landscape, that's becoming a lot more common than it used to be. But you can still do that and keep it interesting. This game introduces boring characters with boring dynamics in boring ways, and it's nowhere near good enough for the 4th game in a series. You should have learnt a formula now at how to introduce engaging characters.
Oh, yeah, that's my being scared song. This is my don't be scared song. Sing it and I won't be scared long.
Then there's the parts where the game's actually fun, because quite a lot of this game is actually quite fun. When you're in danger of dying, and you're being chased by the killer, having to solve puzzles to avoid death. This stuff is great. So why the hell wasn't there more of it? Stuff like when 2 of your characters are suffocating, and you need to save one of them. If you save one, the other dies. If you save the other, they both survive, but you've got to make sure you make the correct decision. That's great. Or the glass door. One person has a button on their side, and if they press it, the glass door will go and kill the other person. But if they don't press the button, then they will get squished. The part I found most scary was literally just walking around the room full of mannequins. You're in no danger whatsoever as far as I can tell. I just really don't like mannequins. Stuff like that is great, and this game has some of the best deaths in the series, but there's nowhere near enough of that stuff. The mystery surrounding it all is also pretty compelling as a premise. You've been led here by some man, and then he has deserted you. You need to figure out why, and survive. That's awesome. The game had stuff going for it. They weren't clueless, but they surrounded that core premise with far too much garbage and not enough fun. And there's also a load of dumb shit, like the character who sees the man who brought you here quickly leaving the place on the boat in a rush. He is getting away from this place for some reason. But when this character sees that, they don't tell anybody for ages. And when they do, they don't tell them with any sense of urgency. It's jarring.
We started on the wine. Hope that's all right with
The
you.
Met? Yeah, that dude ain't coming.
Wait, why?
He saw all the snide things you tweeted from his limo.
I didn't.
What are you talking about, Jamie?
He got back aboard the ferry and left.
What?
And then there's the curator chastising me for everybody dying the last time I played a Dark Pictures game, which just wasn't the case at all. I got most people out alive. Couple this with the world's most pointless inventory system and clunky camera angles, and you just have a game with a boring story that isn't even slightly fun to actually play. Then there's the biggest issue I have with this game. I said it took me and my friend technically 7 hours to beat the game, and that's because we didn't actually beat it because we had a game-breaking bug. Spoilers are going to appear on screen for the ending sequence of the game, so if you don't want to see that, then you will have to skip to the time on screen now. I have given you your warning. So when we get to the part where the killer is about to get thrown off the boat, my friend's screen goes black. So then I was like, damn, that sucks for you. I'm just going to describe what's happening on screen. So I started describing what was happening on screen, and then about 15 seconds later, my screen freezes. We restarted the game, we restarted our consoles, we restarted the chapter, we even made different choices just in case. That was never going to work, but hey, why not give it a go? But it didn't matter. Those two exact things would happen at the exact same point regardless. Now, I never post a video on this channel of a game without finishing it first. Hell, I finished Redfall, for crying out loud. Go watch that after this, by the way. So, yes, I decided to put myself through another playthrough of this game. I played it again. The whole thing again. You are very welcome, just so I can make sure that I have actually finished the game. And I still think it's shit. The Devil in Me is a terrible game, and it managed to do the impossible. It made me grateful that The Quarry was just mediocre. That game ain't special by any means, but it's echelons above this. I've been a massive fan of this series and this developer for a long time. I was filled with hype way before Man of Medan even released. I play every supermassive game. But this is, in my opinion, their worst work to date. I can't speak on the VR stuff because I never played it, but of the console games, this is easily their worst game. A truly dreadful cast of characters dropped into a dreadfully boring game that didn't even let me finish it the first time around. Avoid this game at all costs if you were interested. Watch a Let's Play or something if you care that much. And if you have played this game already, then, well, I just feel sorry for you. You and I can say we suffered through this trash heap of a video game. You and me, we'll always have that. Thank you for making it to the end of this horribly ranty video. I don't think I've ever been this mean to a game, and it didn't feel nice, but anywho, that's all. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, because I would give you a high five if I could, and if you want to subscribe to see more videos from me, then I'll give you 2 high fives, but for now, that's all. Have a nice day, and goodbye.
Stay close.
Obviously.